House? You're lucky to have a house. We used to live in one room.
Room? You were lucky to have a room. We used to have to live in corridor.
Corridor? Oh, I used to dream of living in a corridor. That would have been a palace to us.
Monty Python, by the way, hilarious. Classic. The ones that used to bother me, and I think still kind of do right now, are the people who unironically go into these little misery battles talking about you think you had it bad. We didn't even have windows. We had bars. Oh, you think you had it bad? We didn't even have bars. We just had a square little cutout and that was our window. What do you get out of that? But you have grown adults in their 30s and 40s still acting like this. You got that hood mentality. And by the way, if you didn't know, this is not reserved for just white people, black people, brown people. It's everybody. It's not the hood. It's also the people in the suburbs. It's also the people who live way out there in the sticks. Everybody has their own version of this. And I get it. The perception is you lived a real, authentic, raw, gritty life. You weren't privileged like everybody else. You weren't the rich kids with the silver platter and the silver spoon and the blase, blase, blase. And I get it. It's still stupid though. I do have vivid memory of middle school and high school being like this. You would always hear the type of rhetoric where if you're not living a real life, you don't know or you don't fit in for some reason. It was almost like they were glorifying the struggle or glorifying being broke. And even now with online and social media, ever since social media's inception, you would still hear similar rhetoric. Only now it's more so get money, and not just get money. I'm grinding, but I'm not just grinding. I got it out the mud. So you still want that perception of I came from nothing, started from the bottom, now we're here. Side note, before I continue on my little rant, I do recognize that most of us did live a messed up ass life. Most of us came from a broken household or messed up parents or the little stupid orange stickers that saying that you're about to get evicted if y'all don't pay the rent or whatever the mortgage this month. I get that. I totally get that. What I want to poke fun at is the people who bleed that lifestyle into their 20s, 30s, 40s, and above. It's almost like this weird poverty porn that they're making for themselves. Or maybe they're in a competition with somebody else. Who knows? Let's dub it the Struggle Olympics. Now look, struggling is a part of life. We've all been there. But there's nothing aesthetic about not paying your light bill or not having any lights on. Your minimalistic, I have a candle, isn't where it's at. Nor does it look cute on Instagram. And especially because there is a difference between going through a struggle and trying to get somewhere to staying in the struggle. I know when I lived in Hollywood back in the 90s and early 2000s, my whole mission was to get the hell out of there. There was no, yeah man, this makes me look cool. If I stay here, it's because I know thy roots. I don't care about my roots. I know where I came from. I'm still trying to get the hell up out of there. And then of course you got these creators online, which are the funny ones. These are the creme de la creme of these people. And then you get these creators talking about the grind is real. And honestly, you're not in a movie montage because in real life, right when the montage is over, you're still left with that anxiety and that high ass blood pressure. Oh, and burnout. Don't forget about the burnout. Life definitely has a way to make you get burnt out. The ones that used to bother me the most, I think I would say, are the ones who were not even in the struggle or didn't have to struggle. They just pretended just so they can get that street credit. They can get that look, that aesthetic again. You know, they never even had to come from the bottom or deal with the bottom unless they were gay. And honestly, it's off-putting. If you really want to look at it from a psychological standpoint, it's almost like because you glorify your little messy life, you can dodge accountability as to why you're living in that crappy situation in the first place. Because you're too busy glorifying it. Why would you feel the need to change? What you need to do is put the camera down. We don't need to see your tears in 4K and go fill out that job application. And if you are struggling in real life, I feel for you. I've been there. I know what it's like. Don't let the internet trick you into making you think that this should be posted up somewhere on a Pinterest board. That's not where it's at. Now this next part, I'm probably going to be stepping into some conspiracy theory territory here. The media. The media was full of this back then as it is prevalent today. Everything is always a Cinderella story. There's always an underdog story. It's a classic trope. They actually made us believe that you got the music, you got movies, practically everybody is telling us that because of your tormented past, because of your struggling and your crappy upbringing, that's what made you a genius. No, not really. Maybe they were just talented. Maybe they just worked their butt off. Maybe they got lucky. Or maybe they had connections. Weinstein and Epstein. Eminem went through a lot. That's why he's a GOAT now. Practice, practice, practice. Nas and Jay-Z, they grew up in rough neighborhoods in New York. And the list goes on. There's also that weird infatuation that we all have with hugging the block. And not just hugging the block, but you have your grip on the hood. You moved out, but for some reason you feel like checking in. Not knowing the hood will let you know, hey man, you passed on. You're a have, we're have-nots. They will put you in that box, and you may even already have yourself in that box. It's not healthy. So where am I even going with this? You're inevitably putting yourself in a box. The po man box. Me personally, I would rather we unify instead of divide. Go make friends and find mentors outside of your community and your stupid situation. Because it looks stupid. Glorifying your struggle does not help you learn equity. It doesn't help you learn taxes. It definitely doesn't help with your credit score. Nor is it ever going to help you with that impulsive buying that you've been doing on Amazon. Grow up. You look stupid. Well, that's my 2 cents. The struggle aesthetic. What do you guys think? Is it actually toxic, or is it just a way for people to cope with their current situation? Let me know in the comments.